Hey folks, it's Mark and Bob with Fire Mountain Outdoors. Thanks for joining us today.
You've got your battle-worn rifle here, but it's got a bad lever. I freaking love those bad levers.
You know, that's the thing about the bad lever. If you go look at my review of the bad lever, you know that I love them. The problem is once you get used to them, you have to have them on every single rifle that you have. So guess what? Every AR that I have and use has a bad lever, just because I love them and they work great.
It's too bad nobody makes one for the AR10 M5 platform.
Stick around, folks, because I was super frustrated with this because it didn't have a bad lever and it wouldn't fit, but we found a solution. Stay tuned.
So you've got your Aero Precision M5 all done. I know you've been shooting it a lot. I'm kind of jealous because I haven't even fired a round through it yet.
I have, and I've did a bunch of load development, and I found a round that is just super accurate, and I'm just really happy with this. But you know what? I'm so used to the bad lever and having that, and I couldn't find one. A Magpul bad lever will not fit on the bolt catch because it's recessed into the upper there.
Right.
So there's no room to put that on there, and I thought I was stuck, and it was frustrating me every time that I would go to shoot. But I found a solution, and this is the Phase 5. This is the EBRV2 308.
I've got one of these on one of my M4s.
Right.
And love the Phase 5 stuff. I didn't even know they made one for the 308.
Well, they just made it for the 308, the AR10, and so I contacted them and says, hey, will this fit the Aero? And they said yes. So I'm super excited, so let's put it on.
All right.
So the cool thing about the EBRV2 is it's not an attachment to your existing paddle. It is one piece. Everything is all integrated. Your bolt catch and the battery assist lever are all well machined into one lightweight, solid, rigid package. The cool thing about the Aero lowers is we don't have to drive out a roll pin for changing the bolt catch. This is just held in by an Allen screw, so we're going to remove that. Alright, so I have that pin on the cusp of coming out. Now it has some spring tension on it, so I'm going to gently pull that out and be mindful that I don't lose the plunger and the spring back behind the original one. And they stayed intact right down in there. So let's take a look at these bolt catches. This is an AR-15 bolt catch, and this is an enhanced AR-10 bolt catch right here. Now you can see that this area, this engagement surface for the bolt, is much larger on the enhanced 308 one. The paddle's thicker over here. So there's a significant difference. Now let's compare the Phase 5 with this enhanced one, and we can see that it has a very similar dimensions as far as the bolt catch surface. So it is enhanced and optimized for the 308 AR10 larger bolt. So now to install this, to verify that my plunger and my spring are still intact right down there. Since I have this magazine clamped in a vise, I'm going to have to push this down the follower so that this will fit in there, and then I'm going to have to insert that right there and get my pin started. This is a lot nicer than having to deal with a roll pin and a hammer and a pin punch all at the same time. There, so I have that inserted. Everything's free and functional, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten it up. Alright, so I tightened it up to the point where it started to constrict and bind on it, and then I just backed it off a little bit, and there it is. So now I'm going to install the upper and test it out, see how it works. Well, I'm going to try this with a shooting glove on. As you can see, in its resting position, this actually is inward, and it's more inward than the edge of the magazine well and the magazine release. So it's out of the way during normal circumstances. If we activate it, you can see that I can activate it easily with this finger without encroaching into the trigger guard. It protrudes about even just a little bit further than the magazine release, but it's super easy to activate here. Let's try. I can stick a gloved finger into the magazine well without actually contacting the trigger. So if there's space, even with gloves on, that I can activate that. It's a little bit tight, so if you are going to wear super heavy gloves, or if you've got sausage fingers, you may have interference issues with your finger and the trigger, either contacting one or both of those. So that's something to be aware of. But with this RA140 trigger that I have in here and the Phase 5 Tactical, that works well for me. On this side, we can see that it is it's really tight to the receiver. It's way easier to engage than having to push on that if you're working from this side. So we have a lot more surface area to both hold the bolt back and to release the bolt from this side. So it's very ergonomic and a lot easier to use from that side. It's an attractive unit. Looks nice, works well. This is a win. See that recess right there where the bolt catch went? This is the only one that I've found that'll work. So and now I can have continuity of motion and muscle memory and work in all of my rifles. Well, there we have it, Bob. We installed the Phase 5 EBRV2 308.
Yeah, and it transformed this firearm into a much usable platform. I mean, it's very usable as it is, but when you get used to using like the B.A.D levers or the other, the EBRV2 for the regular AR-15,
right?
Just having this to have your continuity between your firearms makes sense. Your muscle memory is already going to be trained because you've been using them for so long. I know it is with me.
Yep.
And so whenever I shoot my M5, I'm always wishing, boy, I wish I had one of those. Nobody had one until now.
Right.
Super excited that Phase 5 brought one to the market.
Yeah, they're about $50-$55. It made my rifle much more enjoyable for me because now it's more familiar. Everything's more familiar. So I'm a fan of the B.A.D lever and all the other firearms. Now they have one for the AR10. So it's a big win as far as I'm concerned.
Another big thumbs up for me, and a big thanks to Phase 5 for sending this out for us to give a try today.
That's right. Hey, folks, you can't take back a bullet. You never, ever want to wish you could. So follow the 4 basic safety rules. And
stay safe, shoot straight.
We'll see you on the firing line.
Thanks.
Hey, like and subscribe.
That too. Thanks for watching.